Today I will be interviewing Tracy Wyatt, talking
Hello.
about the Vietnam War. How did the Vietnam War affect you or your family?
I remember political discussions like at the dinner table at night. I was young, but I remember a lot of talks about the war in Vietnam, and I had multiple family members getting sent to Vietnam, so that was always a discussion at dinner time.
Okay. What was the impact that you saw around you of the Vietnam War?
Family members, cousins, neighbors getting draft cards for the Army and leaving. And as a young child, I didn't realize why they were being sent away, potentially to be killed. It was a sad experience because the families back then were larger, and some people had 3, 4 children going to Vietnam out of the same family.
So I'd imagine it's a very sad experience for them.
Yes, very, very scary.
Was any of your family involved in the military at this time, and if so, did they get sent to Vietnam?
My oldest brother had already enlisted in the Air Force in the delayed entry program, so he was lucky. He was not he got a draft card, but he was waiting to win the Air Force, so he did not have to go to Vietnam since he had already enlisted. He got sent to Japan and was a Russian linguist, and he would type what the Russians said when they flew overhead.
Okay. Was the idea of political protests or rallies big in the area you grew up in?
Being young, I don't really remember a lot of that. I'm sure there were, in the bigger cities, but I don't really remember any locally.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine there would be too many. You grew up in Hollidaysburg, and it's a smaller area.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's a smaller area. We didn't really have that kind of thing. But I'm sure maybe in Pittsburgh.
Okay. What was your family's view on politics at the time?
They had a lot of discussions, a lot of arguments. But my father served in the Army Air Corps during World War II. So he just thought, that Americans needed to fulfill their civil duties. And my mother did too. All her brothers were in World War II, and that's just the way it is. That's what you do.
So your family is very patriotic.
Very patriotic, and still is.
Okay. And what was their view on war and political opposition?
They didn't believe that the war was totally necessary, but they felt that, they were so patriotic that they thought you should cooperate with the government and fight for our country. And family and friends, friends of my parents and just my brother's friends, they weren't real crazy about the draft dodgers, the people going to Canada, and the ones that were trying to get out of it, because they felt you should fight for your country.
So they definitely were not fans of political opposition?
No.
Okay.
Well then, actually my second oldest brother got a draft card as well, but until he got his physical and everything, the war was over, but he was willing to go.
Okay. Well, thank you for talking with me today.
You're welcome.